Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the Munster Slam Poetry Competition. This is going to be a great competition. We have a bunch of veteran and new poets, I believe, ready to perform their best material for you, and maybe some nervous heads in the house. Give me just kind of a gentle if you're nervous. But that's okay. Now, just to reassure you, everyone who's come here knows it's a poetry night and likes poetry and are really excited to see new poems from tenured artists and also new voices as well. So we're going. It's very welcoming atmosphere. Everyone's here to support you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So just to run through some of the house rules at the start. I won't keep you too long. So everyone's going to perform round one. There's going to be a 3-minute cap on all the poems, any style you want, and any subject you want as well. No notes on stage. Just can't memorize a few lines. and then the top 6 from the round are going to go through to the final. After we complete round one, there's going to be a short break, just so we can deliberate over who should go through. It will be stiff competition, I'm getting the sense. And just as well, other housekeeping while we're here, toilets. So you're just going to go down the stairs. The ladies are at the base of the stairs on the right, and then the men are just on the second right there, and your fire exits are at the doors you came through. Or don't jump out the windows. That is advice directly from the Fire Centre. So have we covered everything?
We have covered everything. Just one other thing.
Oh yes.
See this bell? Do not make me use it. After 3 minutes, I will gently gesticulate with my hands and give you a short kind of tap with the bell. I will be kind and wait a little bit longer, but at 4 minutes, I will step up and pry the mic away from your hands. That's it. Simple. That's it. That's all we were missing from that.
Great stuff. So we're going to move on to pulling names out of the hat, so everyone's going to get a chance to come up one by one. But it's very dramatic moments, like pulling a name out of a hat. So I might need someone to do just a drum roll for me on the table. There. Michael O'Shaughnessy.
Can everybody hear me? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Face is looking at me, I hate this. Okay. It's a poem called Writer's Block. The words would flow, ideas abound, on any topic, even a sound. My appetite was strong, I was ravenous for more. Onto the page they would go, effortless words galore. I felt like a genius, real smart and proud, a bit like Seamus Heaney, but I wouldn't say that out loud. And then all of a sudden, without warning or care, it all dried up. All I could do was sit and stare. No ideas anymore, nothing today. Mind nicked, nada. And we dirty, as they say. It's a tough break. A pity to behold. Life as a writer, stopped in their tracks, gone cold. I'm now like an old ship, thrown into dry dock. No future anymore. Oh, thank you, Writer's Block. That's it.
I don't think there's anyone in the room who hasn't been there. So we'll move on to the next name, and I may need another drum roll for dramatic effect. David Beckham.
Hello, poets. Hello, judges. So here we go. We have a broad topics. I didn't know if I was going to talk about nature, or family, or lust, or sex, but I thought I'd talk about me and you. If I could tell you how I feel, what has meaning to me in life, what's real, how easy it all seems, Yet here I stand all alone and think of times I've lived at home. Christmas, turkey, Easter, ham, streets and hills which once I ran. Now I am so far away from all the days and games I played. To stop and watch time stand still, to yield and know time does not stop. Once young is old. Yes, grandmother's gone, to go fishing in my favorite pond. If I could tell you how I feel, yet here I sit miles away, day after day, recalling paths I've walked astray. Strangled sheets beneath my feet, smoke-filled pipes, dirty words, lust and fights. I grew tired. I have told myself how I feel. What is real is mind. What is mine is real. If I can you? If I should you? For if we could listen to that voice deep within, the voice our mother put in us when we were 10, how different life could be. If I could tell you how I feel, would you listen? Thank you.
If I could pick one, but one. There you go. Oh, Rosalind Blue.
Spirals. That day, the arguments flew back and forth. Again, round and round, spiraling deep into the night. There's never just one involved in conflict. As we finally lay in the bed, both naked, backs turned, each on the outer edge, I whispered, "Anyway, this is not love." That's when you cracked, jumped out of the bed, yanked me out by my arm, thrust me against the wall and battered me with your fist. My skin too bare to protect me, my arms too short to stop your thrashing, my eardrum too weak to break the thrust of your blow. I had only my eyes to seek yours and hold them. With love, the only thing I knew might help now. Love as much as I could. As morning rose raw, after 2 hours sleep, my head droning and pea-warm air seeping from my left ear, I failed my driving test. And winter turned spring in the throes of spiraling, eroding emotions, before I was strong enough, hurt enough to make the break final. Now, a trace of silver hair in my reflection and no more spirals. I bless myself still every day that I dared.
Great start, actually. So, enthusiasm, lads. Next is Kemi George-Simpson.
So this is branding, and it's for Kev and Little King. Nike soars, globally adored. A swoosh adorns every other pair of shoes. So devoted to crease-free leather, you walk like a knee-capped android. Do you know Nike's backstory? She sided with Zeus. Like an American election, neither side were worthy. Nike, her shape-shifting dexterity, destined to victory. And for this, Zeus reduced her to a feature of his daughter Athena, upstaged for centuries by the goddess who cradled Western society. Michael Jordan gave Nike her wings back. The non-stop swift of sports attire jumps into any clothing desire. Corporate wear with kicks, vintage floral with sneakers. Formal had no chance against Nike's shape-pleasing speed. Then labels made temples of our feet. Worldwide hype hides subcontracting to the lowest bids. No living wage, no occupational safety. Woke washing with celebrities. Eco-friendly claims to opaque transparency. Cambodian workers fight for severance at the Olympic Gates. Poor mummies must sacrifice pennies for JD and Elvery, building up sportswear trust funds, weekly instalments into careful investments for the must-have tracksuit, for the shiny black or eye-popping puffer, for the latest runner, painstaking saving for quality clothing to pump up self-esteem, paying the earth for air. Thank you.
Oh, stop. Ciaran MacArtain.
It's called Twisted Tongue. I'm not a pleasant fucker, I'm the pleasant fucker's son, and I'm going undercover as a motherfucking nun. Kicking your bad habits and sucking off your scum. It's not that I'm an addict, I just do it because it's fun. I'd be just as glad if the ending never comes. A staple in your sadness like a nail in a gun. I've been practicing for madness and it seems I'm not the only one. I pretend to be passive, but my silence weighs a ton. Pass me when I'm laughing and catch me when I'm done. Give me my cue for passion, take a lash from my tongue. I've been shorted on my ration of fresh air in my lungs, and I can't cough or gasping, couldn't hide so it wouldn't run. Call me Betty, I'm the bread and butter with a bitter taste in my mouth. I was trying to keep it in the cupboard, but it must have been left out. To mention would bring tension, so instead I'll sit and pout. I am deafened by your whispers, but can hardly hear your shouts. A white elephant in a white room is easy not to talk about. All this time spent in costume has got my sense of style in doubt. Get me in my birthday suit, then kick me off the casting couch. I only wanted the pursuit to think that I was thought about. You only want me for my youth, to give you things you've been without. I've a twisted tongue and sweet tooth, and to my vices I'm devout. Peter's in a pickle now, he's putting pepper in his pipe. His brain's a little brittle and his eyes can only open tight. His friends are acting fickle and his enemies are acting nice, and even though his skin is thick, he's sick of all the talk they shite. Sometimes he's sure they're full of it, others he wonders, are they right? He overdoes it when he's goes wandering the streets at night. He's always had a hunger, but of late it seems he's lost his bite, and there's nothing I can conjure that would meet his appetite. For I'm the cook to many in the kitchen, spoiling broths, and I put all the fixings into the boiling pot and wait for it to thicken like a slow-burning plot, and I will keep on mixing until the penny drops.
It's really great to see the variety on display, lads. Fair play. Right, next. Mel White.
It started in a dark place. There were those who believed it started with a big bang, and those who believed it started with a word from the lips of one man. But the truth was, it started underground. It started the way all things start to grow. It started in a dark place in the harsh depths of winter. It started was a seed bomb. It started under the ground, in the graves of Palestinians, in the rubble that remained of a town, in the eyes of a woman covered by a burqa. It started in a dark place. It started in the skin of children who laboured in sweatshops, raked through landfills, mined for cobalt. It started in slums without sunlight. It started in a dark place. It started in the guts of fish suffocated by plastic, in the last gasp of a polar bear, in the horn of a rhino prized by poachers. It started when sea levels rose, when the earth was quaking and people fled their homes amid floods and droughts and hurricanes. It started underground, in tunnels dug to protest the cutting of trees and the laying of pipelines. It started with campaigns, petitions, banners and parades. It started in student bars and warehouse parties, at campfires, when guitars were passed around. It started with conversation. It started with education. It started with meditation. It started the way all things start to grow. It started with slowing down. It started with stopping. It started when we stopped pushing forward and pulled back into the earth. It started a cycle of rebirth when the trees had shed their leaves and people stopped believing in eternal growth. It started with letting go of greed, with letting there be winter so that seeds could sprout again. It started in a dark place. It started in barren soil, in former carbon sinks where forests were clear-felled, in arid desert scrubs where nomads dwelled. It started in the ears of those who could hear the whispers of water, in the stories told to their daughters. It started with listening to the moon. It started in silence. It started in unspoken dialects. It started with active violence. It started with a vision. When mankind was asleep, it started creeping into dreamtime and wrapping around our feet with the tenacity of bindweed. It started to unite us, to rewrite the pathology learnt in our childhood. It started a new mythology, a new awareness that the biosphere is shared. People started to care. They started to look for solutions. It started a revolution. It ended pollution, ended oppression, ended the perception that human nature is cruel and survival of the fittest meant every man for himself. It ended poverty and wealth. It ended war. There were those who believed it would end with a big bang and those who believed there was no end to the damage done by man, but the truth was it ended the way it all began, shrank back into the earth, prepared the ground for the future, refertilized the soil. It ended the way all things ceased to grow.
Let's see if we have it. Everyone's hands are getting sore. Abdul Malik.
Poem name The Blood and Freedom. This poem I dedicated to all honorable great Irish freedom fighters, those who sacrificed their life for Irish people, for Irish land. Year 1921, character John MacArtain. I wrote this poem remembered to John MacArtain. John MacArtain was a great Irish freedom fighter and poetry. Glory, you are in the south, you are in the north. Glory, I promise to you, I am the god of this valley. Hello, newborn baby, I am stand in this universe. Fearless, hand a gun for your flag, for your freedom. For 100 years, they are killing my people. They are evil. They are British. John, I am John MacArtain. I am Oriar. I am Goelga. I will protect this land with my blood. 100 years later, anyone sees this poem of mine, then you will find me among you or in the crowd of your unborn child. Suddenly, a sniper bullet hit in the chest of John. John fell to down. Blood started to flow from his chest. Before dying, John MacArtain felt in his third eye. His 3-year-old daughter, Liz MacArtain, come to him holding an Irish flag. Thank you.
Might leave it down there just in case. We're back, lads. And we have Lauren McNamara.
Growing up Irish is knowing that the Catholic Church was the top religion in your country, followed closely by the Simpsons, both of which have gotten a little less popular since you were a kid. Growing up Irish is going on a youth pilgrimage to Lourdes and hanging out with the people who are older or sicker or both, knowing that the 90-year-olds have the best stories to tell, because they've been here 20 times and they've seen some shit. And you'll go to Mass 10 times, won't learn a word of French, and you'll see that the pews outside the walls are all just shops selling the same bobblehead glow in the dark Holy Mary statue. And you'll come back not knowing much more about how you feel about God, but feeling better about people. Growing up Irish is spending 12 years learning a language that is yours, but not being able to wrap your tongue around most of the words, and you'll feel that gap in your cree, and you'll love it and you'll hate it, but it will be part of who you are, and sometimes you'll think it's useless until someone else calls it dead, and something will rise up inside you and you'll proclaim, Níl hin tán mar a hin tán féin. Growing up Irish is knowing that everyone in your Irish village knows everything about everyone in your village. And every third person is named Ryan, and every third person is a farmer, and every third house is a bar, and every third bar owner is also a farmer named Ryan. And in your village there was 5 shops and a bank and a post office. Now there's only 1 shop left, and the bank is gone to the city, and the post office only opens 1 day a week, but thank God, all 12 pubs are still doing well. Growing up Irish is being a child of an immigrant, and knowing that your parents, your grandparents, your great ancestors worked to get here, and they made a strange land their home. They made a town of strangers' friends. They broke off a piece of themselves and added it to the fire what it means to be Irish. And they kept that flame alive, and they passed it on to their children, to you, to us. Growing up Irish means you heard of changelings and selkies and banshees and the Shanachie, but nothing was as scary as your mother using your full name. Growing up Irish, we saw these mothers fight to take their place in a country that changed fast after taking a long time changing so slow. But this change did not come easy. It was driven by generations of women who fought and sacrificed to get to keep their job after marriage, to get the right to divorce, to get to take control of their own bodies. Growing up Irish is knowing that a funeral is a celebration, and that you can celebrate and be sad at the same time. And knowing that almost everyone in a small Irish village gets tickets to almost every funeral, and the regulars have season passes, and the scalpers keep an eye on when the big game days are coming up by looking at the coming soon section of RIP.ie. Growing up Irish means growing up, and that can be tough, but it's a hell of a country to do it in, and I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. Thank you very much.
Next we have fantastic crowd. Jack O'Sullivan.
The moon stalls at a tilt, just under halfway empty, hanging silently. It's looking hungry and defeated. It's hard to say if it's waxing or waning, but the fact it remains, it's drained, experiencing hunger pains. It's pale in comparison to its yin, and it pales in comparison to the sun. It's frail, and the night has just begun. Misunderstood, as if Braille was just a bump it sails faintly overhead as it fails to become one. But there's a beauty in the veil of its hum, and what is hidden, but now this angle is just hard to see from. Its heaviness captured only when floating in the air. I know less the longer I stare. And as I paint it in this light, in its light it paints me as I bathe, reflecting infinity. The cold balloon never wavers in the pool, and as I see the sun rise, I await hunger and the moon. Cheers.
I will probably have to just like this time. Valentine Jones.
My poem is called Beauty Factories. A human truth is soul snapping up and down the world in lines of neon floated glow, crisscrossing the globe. The hydrogen peroxide and terp-butyl alcohol collision of the soul. Words commingling and erupting into the firework neuron light of word and word combined. Whole sentences booming across the sky. That's life. A brain has the capacity to expand. Swelled to the moon like an outstretched hand, it holds the world. You are mind and body. Where is the line? Perception is physicality. World and soul leaking, spilling towards each other. You speak yourself alive. You have no proof, but the shine of fish in the dark, under miles of crushing sea, water weighing on the earth, then brilliance, light from life, a deep sea explosion of wordless noise, life sight bright. Thank you.
John Carew.
So this poem is called From Eoin to a Caribbean Isle. And Eoin is a little townsland out near Capamore in County Limerick. And this is the story of a long-suffering husband. Oh no, he suffered way more than that. A long-suffering husband from Eoin had devious thoughts in his mind of how he'd enrich his life with an enhanced Irish life policy on his wife. Filled her head with romantic thoughts of 2 weeks on a Caribbean isle. But why spend so much Dutch when you can do it on the cheap with a Ryanair flight to Tenerife? How her heart fluttered with excitement. This holiday would roll back the years to when she was a beauty. And what would she pack? Will I bring that red dress and stilettos? I think I'll buy some flimsy lingerie. That's Nicholson's to you and me. Shall I pack that polka dot one piece, or be bold with that designer one piece swimsuit? And while she fantasized of love, her hubby plotted his devious plan. Such a tragic accident. He'd wallow in sorrow and then go live in luxury on a Caribbean isle with all that ill-gotten cash. They walked hand in hand on the beach, the Atlantic Ocean gently caressing their feet. Sipped pink champagne on the balcony as they gazed into each other's eyes. And so for a swim in the ocean, where a crashing wave would pay to his devious plan, toppling his wife head over heel, breaking her ankle, not her neck. How the paramedics smiled at her blushes for wearing such a revealing swimsuit. Now they're back home in Eoin, back to the drudgery of Eoin, with no cash in his clutch, just a wife on the crutch, and to think that Caribbean Isle was within touch.
What a wholesome murder. Jutina Kapoor.
Toxic love. Identify, accept, believe, and heal. This love comes dressed in a robe that ain't red. It wears the cloak of invisibility to hide its flaws and fragility, only to be seen by the believers of light, even in times of misery. Because they will give you the benefit of doubt. The light bearers lend you their own light and let you forget your inabilities. They offer you redemption and ask you to let go of your destructive abilities. This love so toxic looks like a dream, but the only thing constant is your inner scream. You revere this love, but feel unworthy. This poison would almost always leave you thirsty. It's a bond so selfish, it makes you feel alone, yet hoping against hope to bud a little more. The loneliness you later realize was a result of your own folly. But then, why call it folly when your intent was purely to love fully? Or maybe, because you allowed melancholy. Neither can they let you go, nor can they treat you right. The future you still hope will one day be bright. The person can be selfless, yet the toxicity will be selfish to you. It's a concept so complicated where you beg and implore, but the situation will almost never be in your control. This push-pull relationship leaves you drained and exhausted, but what's meant for you will never be toxic. Unrequited or incomplete, this love is messy and almost never neat. The fish whispered to seagull, "Why do you immediately leave? Am I supposed to be enthralled by your entrance, or saddened anticipating your imminent exit?" They dive from the air and pluck from the surface. The fish see the bravery and believe their deceit to dive deep. But then, do our fingerprints fade from the lives we touch? Then how can we close the door to our hearts because of people who knocked without the courage to come in? Not every love is toxic, not everyone makes you weep. The right love won't leave you longing, it will dive deep. Thank you.
Next we have Emmy Eoin.
So this is about how much I hate dating apps. Swipe, swipe, swipe. My thumb slides across the glass, right to left. A picture of a naked chest, waistband to neck, stubble on a jaw. I shouldn't scroll down, and yet. Torso guy has commodified his life. He's 6 foot, likes hiking, yoga, Spotify. His wife doesn't know he's on the app, so he can't show his face. He's just here for fun, can't let his good looks go to waste. It should be a war crime, the things he puts women through. The worst conversations on earth always start with, "How are you?" typed by a married man in a hotel room at 11 at night. He picks a victim with half a glance and a clumsy swipe. Number 1, do you want to play 20 questions, he asks? Number 1, what shows you watching these days? Number 2, can I stick it in your ass? Swipe, swipe, swipe. What's this? A dating profile with an ampersand. Pictures of a smiling couple outside a camper van. We're just experimenting, we're looking for a third. Ladies only though, naive and dumb preferred. And while I may be the prettiest unicorn, this is just a desperate attempt to spice up, patch up your shit using another girl as porn. Though, if this was your idea, you might just be into chicks, and if it was his, then I suggest you ought to hit the bricks, because he doesn't respect you, and he's scared of other dicks. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Okay, Cupid, I feel stupid installing these apps. I grinder my teeth waiting for something to happen, bumble my way through these interactions that hinge on me being able to strike matches. But there's no Tinder to light, and I need something tender and right. I know there's plenty of fish in the sea, and do any of y'all remember eHarmony? Swipe, swipe, swipe. And after all the messages and small talk, scared that every picture is going to be a small cock, reservations are made and you begin the long walk until you get to the restaurant and realize the fucker has you blocked.
No Christian mingle, no? No.
Farmers only, Christian mingle.
No Willies on there, only Jesus. Jesus. I'm so sorry. So we're on our last course. Jess Hendy.
The Ferris wheel never stops turning. Even to let someone on, it just goes slow. like life. Life never stops. One minute you're a child, wishing to be an adult, so innocent and bright, full of the joys of life. Round and round the Ferris wheel spins. The next minute you're an adult, out in the world by yourself, having to get a job, having to pay your bills. Round and round the Ferris wheel spins. You're sick. There's an adult there to care for you. You can leave school. You're sick. You have to care for yourself. You still have to go to work. You got home from school. There's a dinner there waiting for you. You get home from work. You have to cook your own meal. Even though you're tired. Round and round the Ferris wheel spins. You had an argument with your parents. They still kiss you goodnight. You had an argument with your parents. You hung up the phone. Maybe you don't talk to them for a while. You're sad. You get hugs and kisses. You're told you're loved. You're sad. Or maybe depressed. You can't stop. You don't have time to feel. You're an adult now. Round and round the Ferris wheel spins. Round and round, no time to stop. You want to go back to being a child, feeling safe and protected, loved and cared for. You're depressed now and feeling low. No matter how you feel, the Ferris wheel never stops turning. Round and round, the Ferris wheel spins.
So we said it was going to be competitive, and it definitely is. We're going to aim for 10 minutes of a break just to adjudicate who goes through, but again, it may take more decision making, so definitely buy some pints. Are we ready for the second round? No, very excited. Okay, so I can now reveal the 6 people who are going to the second round. But before we do, I just want to say everyone who participated was fantastic. The standard was brilliant, the variety was brilliant, the styles, like the delivery, really, really excellent throughout. And we also had a very receptive crowd that were going to keep hoping indulges us a bit more. So, without further ado, the 6 finalists are number 1, Mel White. Number 2, Jess Hendy. Number 3, Lauren McNamara. Number 4, Emi Uyamata. Uimatu.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Next we have Kemi George-Simpson. And finally, our final participant, the band's going lads, Ciaran MacArtain. We have the return of the hat, refilled, restocked. Judges have their clipboards. Lauren McNamara.
She bought a Lego set, and then she bought another. She planned to build most everything and be a master builder. So she put on a builder's hat, and then builder's gloves, and builder's dungarees to avoid a builder's foot. And she built the building site to have a strong foundation, and then she got her tools for her building station. So she built a Lego house, and built a Lego car, and she built a Lego dog who chased her Lego cat. They always fought each other, so she called them Lego Gimli and Lego Lass. She built some Lego food and kept it in a Lego box. Though her dentist wasn't happy, she kept eating plastic blocks. And she built some Lego water and watered Lego plants and wore only Lego shoes, Lego tops and Lego pants. Eventually, she built a reputation and people came to see. So she built a Lego shop and even Lego staff, and invited everyone and only asked for Lego cash. So then she met a Lego lover, and he fell in Lego love. And he went to Lego discos, and there he felt so groovy, and afterwards would go straight home and watch the second Lego movie. And her Lego love grew quickly, faster than even she could build. But they would build together, and a relationship was sealed when she built a Lego diamond ring, and a Lego Eiffel Tower, and built a sunset in the sky to be seen at any hour. And then built up the courage to ask her for her hand. And then Lego fireworks exploded across the Lego covered land. They built a life together, and even built a baby. And when the baby boy was 4 for Christmas, they got a game of Twister. And also Lego blocks. And when the parents turned away, the baby built the baby sister. They took his Lego blocks, the babies was enough. The bills were building up and the Lego market could be tough. But the kids grew up with a love of building that was rare. One became an architect and the other a bricklayer. The family built a Lego empire and lived happy for many years. But one day, her wife fell sick. Doctors said it was worse than they feared. She asked the doctor why she couldn't build a heart. She had the blueprints memorized. She knew where she could start. But the doctor said it didn't work like that. You can't build everything. So she built another doctor and built a working heart. But even the Lego doctor said the heart would only fall apart. So she took a break from building and spent some months with her. And then she built a Lego grave, or buy a Lego tree. Her Lego cat and Lego dog lay beside her Lego covered feet. She took a breath and thought of the life they had built together. And then she let go.
Mega blocks man myself. Next we have Jess Hendy.
I feel so lost. I feel alone. I don't know how to control myself, even in the safety of home. Why do I hate myself? Why don't you like me? Why are you mad again? What's wrong with me? I don't know who I am. I'm sorry I'm here to deal with. I'm sorry I scream and cry. I'm sorry I said I hate you. I'm sorry I don't know why. Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I lose control. I'm sorry you feel alone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't know. I'm not bad or trouble. I'm not what you say I am. I don't have tantrums. I'm not a problem. I have undiagnosed autism. Thank you.
The rock that this show is built on. Mel White.
We learnt division with oranges and pie slices. 12 segments, 6 friends. Divide the pieces to make it fair. Division meant sharing. Then we learnt if we only had 3 friends, we'd get a larger slice of the pie. Somehow, we learned it was justified when some took a second or third slice. The last portion had to be divided into 12 more, and still, some children got none at all. We were divided into teams for sport. We learned to compete. Gold star for achievement, black mark for bad behaviour. Then we learnt about remainders. 15 children into 2 teams, equals 7 aside. Remained 1. 1 child on the sidelines. Not chosen for either team. We learned division, tracing outlines of maps with borders between nations. Like pictures in a colouring book, we learned to stay inside the lines, learned to divide neighbours into categories called Protestants and Catholics and Muslims and Jews. Somehow, we learned to normalise the divide between those who can shop for designer shoes and those born to grow rice, or scavenge for food in landfill sites, or make plastic spoons that are used once and thrown away. We learnt division with superheroes and cartoon villains, good versus evil, us and them. Maintaining a constant supply of baddies provides reassurance that we are the good guys. Somehow, we learnt to identify whose fault it is when we're stuck in traffic, who to blame when we don't get a pay rise, when we realise the water our dreams have been sailing on is draining out of the bathtub and our hopes are capsizing in a puddle on the bathroom floor. We learned to scapegoat. We learned that there's such a thing as right and wrong, and that we know at any given moment which is which, but we are close to some divine source of almighty truth. We have insider information, exclusive access to the instruction manual on the right way to live, and we apply this to the minute detail of our lives, insisting there is a right way to wash the dishes or parent our kids, and we have the authority to inform others they have got it wrong. Somehow, we learned to ignore our commonality, learned not to notice that we all want to be happy, autonomous, authentic, connected. We all want to find purpose. We all share the same needs. We all need air, food, shelter. We all need a biosphere that can sustain life. We need to reduce the harm we're doing to this planet to net zero. And we also learned at school that it doesn't matter how many times you divide a number, you never get to zero. You end up with smaller and smaller fractions. Smaller and smaller fractured parts until our worlds can't hold together. We need to stop dividing. We need to multiply new ways of thinking. Stitch the world back together like a patchwork quilt. Gather all the fragments and rewrite the curriculum. Instead of learning to divide, we need to learn about mycelium, the network of roots that binds our world together. We need to learn that forests talk to each other. We're as interconnected as flowers and bees, and each time we inhale, we're ingesting the exhaled breath of the trees.
Next we have Emmy. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Uimatsu.
Uimatsu.
We're really great in fresh tap water, but in America it's not always safe to drink. I sit beneath the spray. The shower curtain suctions to my skin, threatening to suffocate me if I do not drown. When I press my thighs together, water pools between them. Rising over my dark pubic hair, rivers trail across my hip bones. It's like geography or some shit. Like the lake that fills between my cupped palms as I gulp down mouthful after mouthful. Ugh, that's hot. And the flavor of everyone telling me, don't drink that, is sweeter and more refreshing than the crisp, cold stream that pisses out of the fridge downstairs. Thank you.
And next we have MacArtain.
This is called The Road, and it's for anybody who's gone out there on the road and learned some lessons. I hit the road, head full of big town politics, and I steady strode, trying to make sense of all of it. I lighten my load at just the thought of it, and I know the code, though I need never talk of it. As above, so below, I digest without swallowing. The markings pass me slow. Head walks and feet are following. The news stem and grow. Old thoughts take breath from wallowing. What did I ever know of the pictures I've been coloring? The ways in which I'm set cast rays across my retina. The image they project will blind if I keep letting it fill me with regret, as though I had affected it, as though I could expect someone to have protected it. Those of whom I ask too much, I see on the road before me, their outline in the clouds reflects in the water's glory. They tell me not to fear, that they will always adore me. Tell me not to turn my back, that they want me in their story. The faces that I see, those that my spirit has chosen, will always be with me. Land, sky, river, and ocean, in my mind they roam free, for our paths have been woven from where the dawn burns and breaks to where the evening sky is golden. I must strive for an awareness of my own frail psychology so that I might act out of fairness. I need issue no apology to he who knew best but fell victim to chronology. What would my future self have said if I could hear him call to me? Take responsibility for every possibility. Have faith that I will live to see my happiness come back to me. Out on the road, firmly step to let the mind expel regret, with fresh perspectives to collect and new love to protect. Gently learn and to home happily return.
So we are coming to our last poem of the night. It's sadder than that. Alright, that's enough. We're going to pull it from the hat anyway. Kemi George-Simpson.
There is a palm tree by Adele Zorab's apartment, and it's a Villanelle. I need to hang the laundry up. You send monthly donations. I can't watch Al Jazeera until the killing stops. Why won't we tidy dirty cups? I'll end up in an institution. I need to hang the laundry up. They block farmlands and food trucks. Hunger claims the children. I can't watch Al Jazeera until the killing stops. Bright green funds gave me a shock. They're not seen as a nation. I need to hang the laundry up. 100,000 bombed and shot. I have a million things to action. I can't watch Al Jazeera until the killing stops. High floors and miles of rubble intrude my meditation. I need to hang the laundry up. I'm scared of Al Jazeera until the killing stops.
Another competitive round and another round of tough decisions for the judges back there. So we're going to take a break there for, I'd say, 5 minutes. But again, same thing we said at the start, at the end of the first round. The level of competition that was phenomenally high, the variety as well. So just again, full boss for everyone. Just open to people who participated in round one who didn't get a chance to perform their second poem they had prepared. We've been doing a small open mic thing again. We won't go on too long. Slam rules still apply, 3 minutes. Right. And just get everyone brought a second poem. Let's give them a shot.
Yay!
Alright. And now, without further ado. 6 participants. 2 runners-up. 1 winner. In third place, Ciaran MacArtain. Make your way to the door as well when you get a chance. Friendly door. kind door. In second place, Mel White. And the winner. Yes, get right ahead again. The Munster Poetry Slam Poetry Competition 2024. Kemi George-Simpson. There will be loads of photos now.
Yeah, so if we could ask the three people, the three winners, to come up to the sign. We'll take quick photos and then the open mic will start. And yeah, please don't forget to go outside with me for a minute.